Would you rather fight a horse-sized duck, a duck that is horse-sized, or
I got,
100 duck-sized horses?
I guess.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to 5 with T5. We bring local business owners, community champions, and all-around amazing individuals on to learn about their stories or business in a quick and effective way. My name is Stephen Turnbull from T5 Insurance, your host, and I'm joined by my guest today, Alyssa Sacco, Executive Director at the Center for Leadership Excellence. If you're joining us for the first time today, we're going to start the clock with 5 rapid-fire questions, and then we'll get into meeting our guest. You ready to go today?
I'm ready. I got my coffee. You have your radio voice. We are good to go.
Fire it up. Question number 1 out of the gate. If you could have any job in the world for one day, what would it be and why?
Super easy. Stay-at-home dog mom. Why?
Oh, I love that.
Why? Because dogs are the best. I'm obsessed with mine. And why wouldn't you want to stay home and hang out with your dog all day long and get paid for it?
Now, stay-at-home dog mom with just your dog, or stay-at-home like doggy daycare mom?
Just my dog.
There you go. Love it. Question number 2. I have a feeling you're going to have a good answer for this one.
Okay.
What's the funniest way that you've injured yourself?
Why do you think I'd have a funny answer to that?
I can't explain anymore. I've already asked the question.
Ooh, there's so many.
That's exactly why. That's exactly why right there.
The funniest way I've injured myself. I mean, there's one I'm thinking of quickly. My dad and I were walking on some land years ago, and I tripped. And when I tripped, somehow I fell. My foot fell on a bee, and I got stung. And I couldn't walk and had to go to urgent care and get some antibiotics because apparently that is something that I'm a little bit allergic to. So not only could I not walk, but then I had to go get some medication for my bee sting.
Well, we're just going to blame that on your dad. That'll just be
obviously.
But he should have been making sure that the path ahead had no bees, and he wasn't. That's
exactly 100%.
All right, get a little more serious. Question number 3: share a moment where you felt most proud of yourself and why.
Ooh, I think this is more of a compliment to my parents than to myself. But I'm getting married in July, which is coming up extremely fast. Yeah. And when Mark and I, my fiance, we were talking about our guest list and our wedding party, I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to honor my mom and dad in a way that was important to me. So my dad is my man of honor, and my mom is my matron of honor. And I just felt that that was a moment to pride my parents on the relationship that I have with them. So I don't know if that's a moment that I was proud of myself, but it was a moment that I was proud to share.
Oh, I think so. I think that's great. Yeah, you came up with the idea. You want to do something different. I love that. That's fantastic. Question number 4. This is going to be my favorite question of the show. I think you're episode 15 or 16. I came up with this. I'm like, this is fantastic. You ready for this?
I'm so ready.
Question number 4. Would you rather fight a horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? And you need to give an explanation.
Say that one more time.
Would you rather fight a horse-sized duck, a duck that is horse-sized, or 100 duck-sized horses?
I guess 100 duck-sized horses.
Look at the confused look. This is exactly why I saved this question for you, by the way. 100 duck-sized horses. Mm-hmm. I love it. I do the same thing. They're easier to kick off.
Well, they're smaller than one giant horse.
There you go.
I guess.
There you go.
That's the best answer I have.
Oh my gosh, that was great. Okay, let's. Question number 5. Describe a place or memory that holds special significance to you.
Super easy. The Sagamore. So that's where we're getting married. And we would go up to the Sagamore in Lake George when I was little for either Easter or Thanksgiving with my extended family, my grandfather. And I found a picture of all of us in the lobby years ago. And I watched somebody get married, and I said to my mom and dad, I said that I was going to get married there one day.
That's awesome.
And that's been the place that is dearest to my heart, and that's where we're getting married.
That's awesome. You nailed it. 4:59, 5 minutes. Look at that. Perfect.
Super fast.
Absolutely crushed the questions.
Thanks.
We know that you would rather fight 100 duck-sized horses, so that's good because everybody was probably curious about that.
Yeah, I'm sure that was the number one question they were curious.
Now,
sure.
Getting married in July,
yes.
But there's also a lot of other changes. Got a new role, got a new gig, some new digs. Tell us about that.
So I have stepped into the role of executive director for the Center for Leadership Excellence, and we're really known for Leadership Mohawk Valley, which is an amazing program. I believe you were part of it, Stephen, correct?
Not officially, almost.
What do you mean not officially?
I was not. I was looking into it, and I did not go through with it.
Well, then you're going to sign up this year.
Now I'm on. Now I'm on the list.
We just recruited you for this year. It's an incredible program. Right now we have 40 40 participants, and at the end of every cohort, they give back and they do a community project. So last year, I went through the program and I pitched the project at hospice, and we created a kindness and butterfly garden. And this year, the cohort picked CFLR, and they are creating a coffee and art gallery space in their Rome location. Awesome program. We travel to different locations every month. We meet once a month from 8:30 to 4:30 and hear from community leaders in all types of categories. So we do an arts and culture day. We just went to the Stanley in Munson. We do a health and human services day. It's such an amazing way to connect with local professionals in the area and hear from the leaders in the community that you would never have the opportunity to meet. It's great.
So I want to dive into more about the program, but I want to put that aside for a minute. You skipped over something that doesn't deserve to be skipped over. You did the program last year. This year, you're the executive director. Tell us about that. I mean, let's dive into how did that come about, and what can people learn from that transition of just doing the program last year and now you're running the show.
So I've had an interesting journey to getting to where I am today. So previously I was the director of volunteer services and guest relations at the Wynn. Unfortunately, my position was eliminated in December, and I saw the job opening, and I fell in love with the program for reasons that I could talk about for hours, but really the impact that the program had on me personally and the relationships that I built with people that I would have never built relationships with, that really happened for me. And I saw this as an opportunity to be a catalyst for change. So I posted a video on social media recently, and I'm sure you can attest to this. There's this movement, I feel very strongly, that's happening in this area where our generation specifically is very heavily focused on culture and being cheerleaders for each other and seeing each other as allies instead of competition. And that's the type of leader that I am trying every day to be. And when the position came up, I was very compelled to apply. I went through several rounds of very intense interviews, and I laid it all out on the table. I might not be the oldest candidate. I might not be the most seasoned candidate. I have a lot of experience in events, marketing, and PR, but I love LMV and what they stand for. And I just knew it was the perfect fit for me.
I think that's so cool because you know what it's like, right? Especially you did it last year, and I will just again congratulate you on the position, because I know when you posted it and I looked on social media and everything, everybody was like, "What a great fit! What a great fit!" It just made sense, right? I mean, and like you said, you had that experience. You may have not been the most experienced, you may have not been the oldest, but it made sense. And so, for one of the things that you said my favorite word in the entire world multiple times there: impact. Our core value at T5 Insurance is make an impact. One of my life missions is just make an impact. That's it. And I'm a firm believer that every single day as community members, whether you hold the door for somebody or you do something at a bigger scale, we can make an impact in someone's life.
100%.
What I love that you described in the short 10 minutes already about this program is it gives you the vehicle to do just that. Talk a little bit more about that. Talk about more of the collaboration, the coming together, and what that can do for somebody that's looking to join this program.
So, leadership is how you feel. I mean, you could describe yourself as a leader. We have some individuals that are extremely outspoken, that take challenges head on. We have other leaders in the program that are more reserved, and that's fine. The playing field is even in the program. So, what I mean by that is, as the executive director, I'm trying my hardest to make this a platform to ask questions and to lead in an effective way that they understand, right? So if I'm communicating something to someone that's a mover and a shaker compared to someone who's more reserved, my approach might be a little bit different. They might not connect with several of their classmates because of their personalities, but that's okay. We have to find a way to have everyone feel involved and included in their leadership decisions in the program. So I have a lot of ideas in place to help make that happen for the next cohort. The program itself gives individuals the space and the platform to meet people they would never meet. I mean, we have managers, we have CEOs in the program, we have marketing coordinators, individuals from banking to nonprofits to healthcare. I mean, your network is insane by the time you're done. Prime example, I've met several incredible people throughout my experience at LMV that I would use as a reference. I would be a reference for them. I've gone to their events just to be supportive because I know that that support is returned to me whenever I would need it.
Sure.
So to be a young professional in the area and to have a network once you've completed a program for life is priceless.
Especially in this area. I mean, everyone is so kind in as far as giving back and being each other's cheerleaders. And, I think that's huge, especially in this area. Talk about someone watching this right now as we look to wrap this up in the next few minutes. What's the commitment? What does it mean to be a part of the program? What do I expect? What do I need to know? All of those things.
So the program will be changing a little bit. The decisions for programming is made not just by me. I have a curriculum committee. We have an entire executive board. But right now, the landscape looks like this. You meet once a month from September to June for a full day. Your organization sponsors you to attend the program, and you meet with several different community leaders per day that you're in the program. Arts and Culture Day, Health and Human Services Day, and then at the end, usually between March and April, a capstone project would be pitched and the class would decide collaboratively which project they decide to pursue. They're responsible for raising the funds and making that impact, that long-lasting impact before graduation. So I can't speak enough about the program. Historically, the class has always been filled and we have a wait list usually. We have 40 participants this year, which is the largest it's ever been. And that's a huge thanks to Franca Armstrong, who was the interim director. So if you're interested or you're just interested in having a conversation, please reach out to me. I'm very open to grabbing coffee and just chatting to see if this would be a good fit. We have a lot of other programs. So Center for Leadership Excellence is also part of a partnership with MVCC, and they're spearheading several programs, including Leadership Academy and Supervisors Institute, and then we have Board Leadership and LMV. So it's really a really great track for professional development.
Yeah.
We have a lot of companies that use this as part of their track when transitioning from a manager to a higher up position. They put them through several of our programs. So it's great. We have an awesome alumni database, and it's just an awesome program that you should be honored to be chosen to be part of.
Last question. Over your time of being involved in the program, and you don't use any names or anything, but over the time of being in the program and now being the executive director, like what's like the coolest story you've heard of, like a success story from this program? Like maybe somebody that went through it and it completely changed their outlook or completely changed their business, and I'm sure I know it's such a loaded question because I'm sure there's many of them, but when I ask you that, is there any that just stick out? And again, you don't have to use any names, but.
that sticks out. I mean, all of the alumni that I've talked to have felt that, they've changed in one way or another because of the program. Either their network has expanded, they've been involved in board programs or served on a board that they never were part of. But I guess I'll use me as an example.
Perfect example. Sure.
The project was so impactful, and the program really pushed me outside of my comfort zone enough to find a position working for CLE. So it changed my life, and it changed the way that I perceive leadership and the type of leader I feel compelled to become. And I guess that's a success story in itself.
Yeah. What I love about the program, past what we've already talked about, is that you go around to different organizations and different businesses and then give back to different communities. You could do a full 30-year working career in this area and still have so much that you don't know about that's going on. You really could. I mean, it is incredible. Every week, every day you hear about, oh, did you know this organization downtown does this, or this organization gives back? And this is part of the reason I wanted to do this show, introduce people, community champions, in a quick and effective way. There's so much going on in this area. And by doing that program, I feel like you get plugged in even more. Alyssa, thank you very much. This was a lot of fun. It was very informative. I really appreciate you taking the time to join us.
Of course.
What is the best way for people to get in touch with you?
Email. My email is extremely long, but I will send it to you and you can post it when you share this.
Perfect.
Or give me a call. I'm always on social media, always open for coffee to get it, to chat and have a conversation. But I'm here if anybody has any questions or you wanted to touch base for another podcast.
Awesome. We will definitely do it again down the road. Thanks again for being here, everybody. That's a wrap for today's episode of 5 with T5. Make sure to check out Alyssa and everything they have going on. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and Facebook page of T5 Insurance. Do us a favor there. And until next time, remember, the power of connection and learning from one another is what makes our community thrive. But most importantly, remember to make an impact in someone's life today, even if that's your own. Stephen Turnbull here with T5 Insurance. We'll see you next week. Take care.